people that you talk to in the neighborhood would tell you that a big man lived here in this house, because Uncle Paul would oftentimes go out on the porch. And even to today, people will say to me, I wish I knew that Paul Robeson lived there.
So the mission of West Philadelphia Culture Alliance and the Paul Robeson House is to illuminate the arts and use the legacy, the philosophy, and the vision of Paul Leroy Robeson to bring about social change.
Uncle Paul moved in here in 1966. My family lived across the street. So this is when it was determined that I would be like the gopher, if you want to call it that, not only for Uncle Paul, but also for Aunt Marion. And one of the things that was important to him was popularizing the Negro spirituals.
You realize that I can do something with my singing voice, that beautiful bass baritone voice of his, that who could sing the spirituals with the pain and the hurt and the triumph that Black people had, and that he could do that with the talent that he had.
Today I'm going to sing "Didn't My Lord Deliver Daniel?" "Didn't My Lord Deliver Daniel" tells multiple stories of how oppressed people or oppressed individuals were able to overcome with the help of God.
Then why not every man? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? Then why not every man? He delivered Daniel from the lion's den, Jonah from the belly of the whale, the Hebrew boys from the fiery furnace. And why not every man? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? Then why not every man? You see, the moon runs down by a purple stream, the sun it refused to shine, every star to disappear, now freedom shall be mine. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? Then why not every man?
I think people find what he was able to accomplish infectious, right? It's like, how can one man have done all of these things? And I think that's one of the stories that we tell here at the museum, is we try to show people that we're not only talking about the life and legacy of Robeson, but we're talking about his family. We're talking about the root. And the panels that you see behind us, they talk about the root, where he came from, how he learned to persevere. When you go to the second level of the house, we really introduce you to his artistic abilities. We talk about the many movies that he starred in and got top billing, which was unheard of for the 30s and 40s and 50s. Here's a Black man that his name is not only appearing larger, but his name is appearing before his white counterparts. We also talk about the music that he created, which most people know about Old Man River and some of the most famous albums that he made, but also that he was the first person to really popularize Negro spirituals. In the second room, we talk about his activism, and we really deep dive into when his passport was taken, how he appeared before the U.S. committees, and how they wanted to sanction him, and they did sanction him, how he was accused of being a communist, even though he never admitted that. He thought that that was unrighteous and unjust.
When I was a younger child, you did not speak about Uncle Paul outside of the house because just across the street, the CIA as well as the FBI were usually parked somewhere around here. And so you would be watched going in and out.
To think that someone with all his talent, the racist society that he lived in, would not allow him to be who he should have been.
This particular aspect of his life led to him being really taken out of the books. Children don't know about him because he was left out.
During the 50s, McCarthy era, I think that's one of the most horrible, disgraceful periods that America's ever gone through. And unfortunately, Paul Robeson was really one of the people that they targeted. One of the most recent incredible discoveries in the world of classical music has been the rediscovery of Florence Price, who is really a fabulous, fantastic composer. And she was practically forgotten and has been rediscovered recently. And she was incredibly prolific and really an absolute genius. And we chose to do this first Fantasy and then this small piece called Adoration, which is just incredibly lovely, touching.
Having music, having art has always been a part of what West Philadelphia Cultural Alliance is about. One of the reasons why we're so excited about the collaboration with the Philadelphia Orchestra is because music is really a universal language.
You know, Paul Robeson sang with the Philadelphia Orchestra, which I found, very, very interesting during the 1940s.
One of the things that we're also very proud of is how we interact with the community, how this house is really a beacon for the community.
We see ourselves embedded within this neighborhood, not as a museum that's sort of like go downtown distinctiveness, but someone who's like right outside with you, right on the porch with you, and can talk about the importance of our history, the importance of preserving our stories, and what that makes possible for our future.
We produced a book called How We Stay Free that really documented a lot of different perspectives on what was happening during the uprising, how people got involved.
How We Stay Free was a way of saying that that process, right? That process of being committed and embedded and listening and gathering with folks and thinking of the roles of action and reflection, the way in which we go out into the streets and do work, and the way in which we sort of like talk about the lessons that come out of that organizing. Those are critically important to sustain movements. You know, I heard this said about the Watts uprising from Robin D.G. Kelly. It's not just about what was burnt, but it's also about what is being built. So when you take a look at 52nd Street, you take a look at Hakeem's bookstore and how they have, pushed through across generations as one of the oldest Black bookstores in the country. You take a look at Bushfire Theater, and that block is a space of keeping cultural traditions alive. You take a look at the gatherings at Malcolm X Park. It becomes a question of what does Black community power look like in this moment? And what are the ways that we're still up against the same repression that we faced in, previous decades? And how can we continue to build awareness about what is needed for our lives? We were able to gift the set of How We Stay Free to the young people at Philadelphia Student Union. We're going to, work through the book, think about the lessons that the organizers put into it, and think about how that also, helps empower them to be better organizers.
If you look at what he's done, you read his writings, you listen to his speeches, they're very appropriate for today. And certainly they were appropriate for the civil rights movement also.
There's more, much more, that needs to be done, of course, before we can reach our goals. But if we cannot as yet sing, "Thank God Almighty, we're free at last," we surely can all sing together. Thank God Almighty, we're moving. Paul Robeson.